The town of Jindabyne is situated on the shores of Lake Jindabyne. The lake itself is a dam, and you can travel across the dam wall to enter the town if you're coming from Kuma. In order to create the dam, the town of Jindabyne had to be moved from the valley floor to higher ground. The original township of Jindabyne now lies under the waters of the lake. Moving the town was, of course, not a very popular idea with the locals. People who once had fertile lands on the valley floor were forced to abandon their houses and farms and move further up the valley. Legend has it that if you venture out onto the lake and the water is low, you can sometimes see the steeple of the original Jindabyne church, almost puncturing the surface of the lake. Lake Jindabyne has several pretty romantic looking islands on it, and I decided to rent a kayak and go explore them. You can rent a kayak or a motorboat, if that's your thing, from a guy operating out of a shipping container down on the lake's shore near the caravan park, a few kilometers out of town. The kayak I got was fairly short and didn't have a rudder, but that's what you get for $25. After 20 minutes of hard rowing, I finally beached on the nearest island and sat down for a coffee on the shore. Most of the islands are covered by trees, and someone later told me that they're supposed to have a lot of brown snakes. I didn't see any, however. I did see lots of spiders. The spiders, mostly being undisturbed, had made tons of web traps between the branches and tall stalks of grass and weeds. You have to constantly clear them out of the way as you explore. Because of this, I named the island Spider Island in my mind. There was evidence of a few campfires on the island, and that doesn't really surprise me. This would be a pretty great place to go camping. I was also surprised to see several public toilets now falling down and completely wrecked. Perhaps the island had once been a popular location for the locals. On this trip, I was staying at a ski lodge in Jindabyne. A bed in these lodges can be rented quite cheap, especially in the off-season. Mine cost about $25. But the catch is, you need to know somebody who's a member of the lodge who can vouch for you. Normally, these lodges require you to buy a share of the lodge to become a member, and the waiting list to do so is a mile long. If you can manage to get a bed in one though, it's definitely worth it. The next morning I went out to Charlotte's Pass, a village in the Kosciuszko National Park. The village is named after Charlotte Adams, the first woman to climb Mt Kosciuszko. There's a walking track that leads up to Mt Kosciuszko and climbs around the mountain, ending at Thredbo on the far side. The walking path from Charlotte's Pass wanders past the Blue Lake, a still, peaceful alpine lake that is nestled among the ridges of the Stony Mountains. Along the way back to the beginning of the path, I came across a huge black snake. I'm not sure what species it was. The snake was sunning itself on the paved walking path. It was late in the summer and just beginning to get cold in the mountains, and no doubt the snake was soaking up the last of the summer warmth before hibernating.